welcome to my state-of-the-art travel video. Here is my petite bicyclette, my Brompton. Let me just take a sip of this wine. Yes, I'm travelling from Dijon to Marseille, hopefully. Let's see how far I get. By the way, I'm recording this voiceover in one go because I'm sitting in a campsite surrounded by other people. So anyway, spent the first night in Dijon, lovely place. That was my setup there with the little bike folded up nicely in the back. I went for a swim in that lake, I did indeed, and I cycled around the old town, which was great. But yeah, I didn't expect that it would rain the first night. So the next day, as you can see, I cycled toward the Mediterranean, toward the sunshine, as they say. And before I headed toward the Mediterranean, I got to dry out my tent along the way. And off I was on the Côte de Nuit. That's a cycling route, there's loads of them that will take you windy, whiny through vineyards and stuff. I don't know. That man laughed at my bicycle. There's loads of people laughing at my bike. Sometimes I feel like there's I'm like Mr. Bean's three-wheeled car or something. Anyway, vineyards. Wait. Oh, there's a fly flew into my mouth again. Vineyards and chateaus, just gorgeous. Vino everywhere, and not a drop to drink if you're a safe cyclist like myself. But that's why you get to have the vino there in the evening, in the campsite, as I did that day, and as I'm doing right now. That's right, the next day a thunderstorm was forecast, so I decided to visit the 15th century hospital in Bonn. After 100 years of plague, a fella decided to build this charitable institution, otherwise known as the Palace of the Poor. Just look at the lavishness of it, the luxury of it. Can you imagine it was all for free as well? You just go in there, you're sick, you're poorly, you're a peasant, well, you're well taken care of in this 15th century hospital. Also, you have to be like 5'1". They were very small back then. I'd have to chop off my feet to fit into that bed. But sure, was there any grown medicine in that cabinet? I'm sure that there wasn't. Then I did, think maybe modern day medicine isn't so bad after all. I mean, to be fair, we have made improvements. She doesn't look like she's having the best time there herself. You know what I mean? On the upside, the hospital does make its own wine, which I'd say went down an absolute treat with the patients at the hospital. She looks like she's having the best time ever there. Probably her last best time ever, but sure, whatever. Anyway, the next day I left Bonn and headed again out, toward the Mediterranean, as you do on these kind of things. There you see there's loads of rain on the ground. This reminded me a bit of Ireland, a bit of under the Hawthorn tree, a bit of the famine, except for the vineyards and the wine and stuff. But and the lavish and the luxury and stuff, we don't have that in Ireland. But it was still very pleasant. And actually, I quite like cycling after rain because you don't have that heat beating down on the back of you, I did have to stop loads every 2 or 5 minutes just to take it all in. I mean, just stunning, gorgeous, beautiful places. I mean, the French, they know what they're doing, don't they? They just know what they're doing, architecture-wise, food-wise, wine-wise. I mean, this whole area is just like posh alcoholics, do you know what I mean? But it's like hidden, it's subtle, it's all just, oh no, we're not alcoholics. No, but it's no, we are French. Anyway, eventually I found this lovely canal and didn't find it was on the way. Heading more down to the Mediterranean. Lovely cycle. Really made you think, God, why am I not living on a houseboat? And as you continue to cycle, it was then also that I realised oh, there's a train there behind me. A bit of background noise. Oh yeah, this is my favourite moment now. I'm not only providing you with top-notch travel footage, but also top-notch nature photography. What about that, huh? What about that? So I did end up taking a 2-hour detour to Decathlon because of those grey clouds. So after cycling 5.5 hours straight, dry my eyes. Part 2. As I was saying, I am very much looking forward to having a beef bourguignon and vino blanco. I do feel a bit bad now talking about the beef bourguignon. I'm sorry, I'll have... No, don't go. Come on, I'll have salad. Yep, so after that detour, I eventually found it. Oh, nice bird there in the background. On the way back, just through gorgeous French man's wet dream of a beautiful landscape. Look at that. I'm just going to have a little sip of wine. Hang on there now. Lovely. Oh yeah, this was my highlight for sure. Look at that. Upon cycling into this campsite, would you believe it or not, I thought I had arrived at my very own Palace of the Poor. This place was built actually in 1788 by a knight of the Holy Empire. And since then it was handed over to a load of, you know, counts and lords and barons and fancy people. Today, however, you'll find mostly peasants like myself looking for a place to stay, shelter over our weary heads, to know the way. It was empty and I got that pool all to myself, just absolute luxury. And then I was delighted to find out that that evening I did not have to spend alone, but that 3 French gentlemen would accompany me for my meal. I couldn't have needed it more. So after an evening of laughs and fine wine, Henry, Hugo and Francois proceeded to display their little intricate grooming skills. Now I thought, is this an extravagant courtship spectacle? I can't choose. And of course, Hugo couldn't take no for an answer and wanted to get inside the old... Well, I can't say what he wanted to get inside and how old I am, really. Anyway, the next day off I was again, headed, as you say, toward the sunshine, the Mediterranean. This was a lovely, lovely, pleasant cycle. I very much enjoyed it indeed. I did think to myself, Jesus Christ, I haven't had a conversation with anybody in about 6 feckin' days. I think this does mad things to your brain. That's the village of Tourneau, by the way. Stunning. So will we see what's it like inside the village of Tourneau? Sure, why not? Let's take a little cycle inside the village. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. And there we are, a marketplace full of French people and French food and honey and fromage and pain au chocolat and all that kind of French stuff. So I had a great lunch there. They don't really chat to you though, do they? The French, they sort of keep to themselves. Anyway, off I was there again. Sorry, just take a little sip. And this area was way more like barren and countryside-y than the rest of it. Look at that water. It was so peaceful and so quiet. I actually thought about wild camping there because there was nobody there, and I found the perfect spot with its own little private entry into the lake, river, whatever the feck that is. The water is just gorgeous. I mean, stunning. So of course I went in for a dip. Now you see those French films where you see a gorgeous woman going in and diving and she's gorgeous. Yeah, and I wonder why I'm single. Join me soon for more of my adventure.